We loved our old Black & Decker air conditioner so much that I wanted to get another one to keep out here in the shop. But with money being a little bit tight, I went ahead and got a used one off the Facebook Marketplace. I got this one for $125. It is a 10,000 BTU Black & Decker Portable Air Conditioning unit. I had some problems where it wasn't cooling. The fan was still going, but no cold air was coming out. The AC was shutting off. And I thought it was getting a little bit hot down here when I would touch it. So I replaced the hose that it came with an old-fashioned dryer hose. And then I got it working great. It was just blowing out really cold air, but it smelled. It just had this really funky smell to it. So then when I took it out and took it apart to clean the filters, everything looked pretty good on the filters. But on the grate here, you can see it's all dirty and dusty. And so it's just got the smell. The people that had this before, they had it in a RV, and they had a dog. You can see right here, it looks like there's some dog hair, and that can kind of start to smell. I think it has, if I were to give you a good description of it, it has that infamous wet dog smell, and it's not very pleasant. I know if you have pets, a lot of times you can become nose blind to it and you don't realize it, but if you don't have a dog, then it's kind of jarring and you're not used to it. I want to kind of clean that out. So I'm going to see what I can do to clean this grate off here. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with an air compressor, and I'm going to try and blow this off here and see if I can get rid of some of the smell. Gonna go ahead and turn the fan on here, kind of get that smell out. That was definitely the smell. When I started blowing that out, I could smell that pet dander. It's pretty strong. I'm gonna go ahead and just try and use the blower here and see if I can clean it out that way. I ended up putting my dust mask on because I really didn't like that smell. It was pretty bad. All right, let's take this other filter off here. If you can look in here, you'll see a lot of dust in here. So like I said, they had this unit in their RV, so it got a little dusty too. They might have been using it outside. Because look at that, I mean, that's dusty. These things, you know, a lot of times you don't have to cool down the room that you're in. You could just sit next to it and then feel the cold air. So that might have been what they were doing, because that looks pretty bad in there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and blow that out too. If you look in here at all the stuff that blew out here, it's just a lot of pet hair. So that's where our smells were. A lot of it was inside of there. All right, we're just gonna keep blowing this off and see how clean we can get this thing. All right, that looks a lot better in there. Still got a little bit of grime up in here. I got a brush here. I don't know if I can clean any of this off. Might just kind of loosen all this stuff up here with a brush and then blow it out again. All right, I'm struggling to get this scrubbed out of here. There's still a lot of crud in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can take this apart, if I can take the back off. There's, looks like there's 4 screws in here. And we're gonna go ahead and see if that's all I need to do. There's 4 screws, and then they still have the tape on the side. They said this thing was 4 months old, so it's pretty new. The reason that they got rid of it is because the 10,000 BTUs took up too much juice in their motorhome, and so they were having trouble. If they ran this AC, that was it. That's all they could run. They couldn't run anything else. So they were looking to get a smaller AC, like maybe a 5,000 BTU or something. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and see how it goes.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
That's why I couldn't take this vent off, this vent cover off, because it was taped on here.
I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay.
This thing turns on pretty easy if you barely touch it, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug it so I don't have any issues. Don't want this thing coming on while I'm trying to take the back off. Alright, let's see if we can get this back off. See, we probably got to unplug this water hose here, and then we'll unplug the drain here. They said they ran this for 4 months and it's bone dry. There's not any water in here, so people wonder like how much water is going to accumulate in there and how to drain it. You just put a pan down here and you could just drain your water into there, or you could just drain it on the, if you're in the garage, you could just drain it on the cement and then wipe it up with a rag. All right, we'll see if we can get the rest of this off here. Oh, there's a couple more screws. Looks like right down here. Yeah, there is. So there's probably 6 screws. Alright, let's tip it upside down and see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, there's 2 more screws right here. Look at all that. Look at all that pet hair there. Pretty nasty. Alright, now we can really get in here and clean this pretty good. Alright, now that we got that taken off, let's see if we can clean this up a little better. I'm just basically using a white bristle brush to clean this with. The smell's not nearly as strong now that we're getting a lot of that dust out of here. Look at all this dust in here. All right, I got that pretty clean. I'm going to go ahead and blow it off again and see how it smells. Well, it's looking pretty good. I see a little bit of dust in here. I could probably scrub a little more. Another grate right here. It's got some pet hair stuck in it. Okay, well that looks pretty clean. I've seen some videos where people will put soap and bleach and water to clean out their AC units, but this one, I don't really see anywhere for the soap and water to run to, and so I really don't want to put a bunch of water in here. It's going to run down into the electronics. It doesn't really have like a free space to run to. So I'm going to go ahead and forego that. I'm just scrubbed it with the scrub brush the best I could and blew it out. And then we'll just kind of go from there. This is in the shop, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but anything will be better than what it was. I think now that we got all that dirt and dander out of there, maybe just a little bit of Febreze and some Lysol, and we should be good to go. All right, I'm going to put it back together. One thing that's a little bit tricky is this thing here. So we're going to try and put that on first. That got pinched in there, so this should be loose so that you can screw it back in. Kind of get everything pushed back in place before you start screwing it together, and then you can actually put these in. To put the plug back in, you take this nib here, make sure this nib goes in first. Make sure that nib is in there, and then you can screw this in. And then for this right here, you can just screw this back in. Just make sure you got enough slack here on that zip tie or whatever it is. Alright, now we're just going to screw it back together. We got 8 screws here, and we got a Phillips head screwdriver. Well, that sucks. I dropped that in here. Don't do that. Well, we'll use a magnet. I'll go grab a magnet and pull that out rather than I got all this other stuff plugged up here. All right, I'll be right back. For my magnet, I'm just using the extender for my drill. It's got a magnet on there. Just using the chuck for my drill. I just went down there and picked it up, no problem. So we'll try not to do that again, but if we do, I'm set, I got my magnet. I should get some magnetic screwdrivers. Those would be nice to have. I usually don't use screwdrivers, but for this I don't want to use my power drill. I just want to lightly hand tighten these. I don't want to strip anything. I think those were the only two areas I have to worry about. Were these two here, that's where I could drop it. So yeah, I thought there was just 4, but it was actually 8. 4 screws in the top here, and then 4 screws on the bottom. There's actually more screws on the front, but we're not worried about that. We just took off the back. Quite have it pushed in all the way. All right. Just running it around one more time, making sure everything is finger tight. Don't want to over tighten anything, but don't want anything rattling loose. Yeah, one of the things they say that can happen if your vents are clogged here, it can stop the AC from working. And this was pretty dirty in here, and this was really dirty down here too. I didn't realize there was another grill down there. So it was a lot of dirt and dust and hair and stuff that got up in there, and that may have been affecting the efficiency of the AC. So we'll go ahead and put the vents back on and turn it on and see how it works. Or at least see how it smells. See, it looks like there's a slat there, so that must be the bottom. No, it's upside down. There must be another slat here that I can't see. Yeah, there is. Okay, got that put together. Looks like this slat matches the top. Okay, so I got all that put back together. This is the vent cover. This is how I attach the dryer vent to it, as I just screwed it on here. I need to buy another one of these. I have another old AC in my other garage that I need to get one of these for. I've just got it taped on for now, but the tape's starting to come loose, so I'll have to order another one of these. Another one of these brackets there. Okay, now that's on. Plug it back in. For the window, I got a DIY vent. It's just a piece of MDF, and I put an old coffee can on here. And then I can attach the dryer sheet, the dryer vent cover to it. The dryer vent there, attaches on there. All right, let's see how it's working. The nice thing about this unit here is all these things are recessed here, and you just tap the power there. And it has an automatic door on there. It raises up and down. Blew a little bit of dust out of there. Yeah, it's a little dusty in there too. Oh man, this feels really nice. That's 64 degrees. Woo! That feels amazing. Smells a lot better too. Like I said, I still need a little bit of Febreze and maybe some Lysol. But yeah, all in all, this smells a lot better. And it feels great. Oh man, 64 degrees, nice.
I wanna taste the pain. I think I'm seeing all red. 2 bullets in the gut, 1 shot to the head. I need a blade.